Hi, YouTube. Yeah, my voice is still messed up, but I thought I'd make a video. I will get back to the two other series we're working on, but I wanted to start a video on various other subjects, and one of them for today is what to do when you don't have a DM, a referee, an umpire, judge. What's some other terms? Game master. The guy or girl who is behind the screen running the show, has got the adventure hook, all that stuff. What do you do? So I'll tell you how to solve the problem of the DM shortage. I know the solution. Everybody who wants to play whatever tabletop role-playing game it is that you guys want to play, whether that's RuneQuest, whether you want to go hard on with Ardoon, whether you want to play Traveler, GURPS, D&D, any edition, Gamma World, Dungeon Crawl Classics. Oh, there's so many role-play games out there. The Masquerade, the Vampire one. There's just so many. Whatever it is that you want to do, here's how you do it. If the game has a starter pack, a starter box, somebody go buy that. Most games have a starter box, and also available are the player manual, the DM's guide, core rule book. It has different names depending on the system. And of course, there's usually some kind of monster manual, critter compendium, something. Everybody in the group buy one of those things. Not all, you don't have to buy all of them. Just, person A buys the starter kit. Person B go gets the core rule book. Person C picks up the monster manual thing. Somebody buys a module for level 1s or level 0s. Okay? Entrance level. To, kind of get all that stuff together. Then as a group, you're all going to make characters, unless of course you have a starter kit that gives you pre-made characters, in which case it has a pre-made module in there and stuff. You might be golden. Just go Xerox those character pages off. All right? Then you're going to sit down and you're going to learn how to play the game. Make characters. Now you're like, but who's going to DM? You're each going to DM. Oh, that's impossible. I'm a player. I don't DM. Okay, why not? What do you think we did in the 70s and in the 80s before the big bad internet? Seriously, somebody had to DM or there was no game. Somebody had to step up. Now, why should you all learn to be a judge? Here's why. First of all, it prevents burnout. Second of all, you will have some really, really fun adventures because each person who puts on an adventure is going to go from a different angle. And so you'll have a wonderful variety because you have different writers. Look at it that way. And if you're a player who believes you're an awesome storyteller, why wouldn't you want to explore the other half of the storytelling aspect of the game? It just makes no sense to me. Don't you want to have some kind of chance to run some plots? Now, I was a kid when I started learning to DM with other kids. And I'm pretty sure we started with the white, what was in the wood box, white box, whatever. Those little pamphlets, because I remember the first adventure we went through. My cousin ran it because he had the game. And, I remember getting eaten by a giant frog was in there. Yeah. Swamp, giant frogs, frogmen. We didn't do so well, I'll put it that way, but we had fun. And were we on the level of all these awesome game masters you read about or watch on YouTube now? I'm sure we weren't. It didn't matter. Why are you there? To play a game and have fun. You can do that. And that's when the rules are not very well spelled out. All right. Then we quickly graduated to Advanced Dungeons and Dragons as that came out. And I know I had the box. I eventually got a box set for the basic as well before I got Advanced D&D stuff. So I know there was a whole transition period. I know we mixed and matched. I still mix and match everything. I don't care. So, because that's the way I learned to play. Like it, take it, adapt it, change it, have fun with it. We did terrible things to pre-printed modules. We died a lot too. So that's why if you have pre-made characters, it's cool. Now, here is how I would do it if you don't have pre-made characters, but you guys got enough books or whatever. All right, you all make first level characters or 0 level, depending on the system. Then what you guys are going to do is you're going to start out with each one of you runs a session. That's all you got to do. The main goal of those sessions is to get to an adventure, get to a challenge, do something as the group, finish it. The next DM takes over. They do the next session and they build off the previous session. And you keep rounding around like that. You will learn the game. You will become better players. So if you're a player who's like, no, I never want to, give it a shot. If little kids can figure out how to do it, you can figure out how to do it. It's not that scary. If you're using something like 5e, get the starter box, stay with the starter box rules. They're very simple. They're very straightforward. Stay with the basic classes first. And just work it. You got a nice little village there. Scooby, do it. You know? And you're like, what do I mean? Well, think about Scooby-Doo. You got your little team in the mystery van. They go to a town. And there's something going on at the town. And they set out to solve the mystery. Look at, if you use the starter kit from that game. I have not opened a RuneQuest starter kit yet. I'm saving that. That's my husband's thing. So when we're ready for RuneQuest, that'll be the big fun. But I don't really know what's in it. But you have a village to work off of. So you can use what's in there or you can come up with new stuff. It doesn't matter. So I'm going to use Scooby-Doo. So they get, you're at the village. You get there and you find out something's eating Thelma Lightfoot's apples. That's a mystery. Someone's eating all the apples in the apple orchard. What is it? Who is it? Are they being stolen? What's going on? Your little group goes out there, and that's the goal. You finish up that adventure. Maybe it takes 2 sessions, but you guys are following me, right? Then the next DM takes over. It doesn't matter if you're unsure, because you're all studying the same stuff so you can help each other. All right? You're also going to learn what it's like to be the DM. You've got an idea. You've put all the hooks out there. And the players are they're just going to do something else. And then what it's like to have to deal with that. It's important to see what it's like to play the game from both sides of the screen, even if you're not using a screen, from the different positions. Okay? It will make you a better player, and if DMing is your thing, it will make you a better DM. All right? You don't want to have big background stories for these beginning characters. You guys are experimenting with whatever game system you're using. All right, you might die and have to make a new one or whatever, resurrect the old one with a new name, but just keep it chugging. And then the next person takes over, and maybe they decide, well, there's weird sounds coming from the town's well. So you guys are going to go investigate that. You don't really have to go dungeon delving. Maybe there's the haunted mansion that nobody lives in. What's going on? Maybe there's tales of ghosts or a dead person walking, or a witch that who was murdered and whose spirit is at unrest from the cemetery. Heck, maybe the town was built on the cemetery. But whatever it is that each of you come up with, monster in the woods, is it really a monster? Bandits on the road where food's not getting to town. You gotta go deal with that. Pick little short things with very straight goals. That's how you learn to DM. You will be better at your rules, everybody. You will find out which rules aren't working for your group, and you'll have multiple DMs then by the time you're done. All right? Which means burnout will be less. If a DM gets sick, like I'm sick, I've got to go judge this weekend. Oh my gosh, I have to yell. We'll see how that goes. Not for role-playing game, for Taekwondo. So if a DM gets sick or hurt or has to go to surgery or something, things happen. A car breaks down, family emergency, they're on vacation, work sends them somewhere. And you're like, well, we got Zoom now. Yeah, you would think, but this little DM here, I play a few video games that are group, belong to guilds and whatnot. There are times I have been on vacation in the games, and there's little notes to people in charge of the guilds that I'm not contactable. I am someplace I cannot use this or the device I am currently filming on. In fact, I'm forbidden to take pictures. I might have this. I might have the pad I'm using. But I can't make pictures in the areas I am in. And I will be there for a week, 2 weeks, and basically may as well be on the dark side of the moon. Okay? So it's important to understand that some of us end up places where, no, we can't Zoom. We can't chat. We just say, hey, we'll be back. And that's a real thing. So, maybe someone can't get babysitting. We're grown-ups. But if you think you can't do what a bunch of little kids figured out how to do, I have to question what's going on. You're grown adults. You can do this. Grandma believes in you. And if you're playing something like 5e, it's a fairly streamlined game. The rules, once you get a gist for them, aren't that difficult. If you want to play an older version of D&D, again, you just take your time. You start small. You build. Okay? That's all you got to do. Start small, not grandiose, and you build. That's why I'm suggesting Scooby-Doo it. Each person takes a turn. Then you don't just have one DM. Let's say there's 5 of you playing the game. You have 5 DMs. Well, what do you do with the player character of the DM who's not playing? Well, what you do is either the DM continues to play their player character more like an NPC at that point. All right. So you can't give anything away, but you can still help the party. Or you trust another player to play your character. I've done both. And yes, I have been part of several groups where every single player learned how to play D&D because we started out with one DM, or in our case, 2 DMs. This is what we normally do, my husband and I. If you bring us to the table to DM, be warned. We will gradually be working on you with the goal, whether you know it or not, that you will someday be in the hot seat. Surrounded by caring friends, caring comrades, and dice at arms who are there to support you. The other fun thing is, too, let's say you start with D&D, but you found Arduin, or you found an old copy of Gamma World you really want to play, or GURPS, or Savage Worlds. Now that you have the experience and the confidence from being in a group learning environment for both being a player and being a referee, you will now have the confidence to go, guys, I got this RuneQuest starter kit. You want to play? I found an old copy of Traveler. You want to play? And usually people go, yeah, that sounds cool. Let's do a few sessions of that. See how we like it. And then you get more variety. Think of it like this. I like pizza, but I wouldn't want to eat pizza every night. Isn't it nice to have a selection of recipes? A selection of foods from around the world, flavors and palettes and different textures and completely different tastes and ingredients? Yeah, it is. That's why we have Chinese food restaurants and Italian and French and German and American and Brazilian and Mexican. They're different, okay? English cuisine, Polish cuisine. It's Greek. It's different from Italian. Middle Eastern, India, Indonesia, Japanese, Korean, Chinese. It's all different. There's different provinces too. The food can be drastically different. Southern cooking versus California. Different styles there. African cuisine. Oh my gosh, there's some good African food. Or do you want to eat pizza? I love pizza. Nothing against Italy on this one. Good creation. But do you really want to eat the same pizza? The exact same flavor every day? No. More role-playing games, the better. But you'll also find that each person who referees will have a different style. They'll bring different ideas. They'll bring their own recipes. And you will have a lot of fun. Even if, the main trick is just to keep building off the previous person. And you can do it. We've had some wonderful stories that way. Some really memorable stuff. And it was an ongoing campaign, but each referee did a different part of the campaign on the fly. Of course they thought about it, but they knew they were coming up and they started thinking, like I said, keep it small. It's completely doable and you will be awesome. You're already awesome, but you'll be better than you are now. And if you think you're a good storyteller now and you've never DM'd, you have not maximized your storytelling potential. If you just like to build, even if you're like somebody who just likes to build characters to maximize them, you'll like being a DM. Because now you're going to be approaching it from a different angle. One, you're going to have a better understanding of the mechanics, so that'll help you build player characters better later. But 2, you got to build some really cool bad guys. It's also fun. Or a cool trap. Or there's just so much you can do. It just opens up the possibilities more to you. And you will come away with knowledge, even if you decide it's not your thing. So I really encourage people to try it. It's kind of like never driving a car and always sitting in the car when you're capable of driving a car. Don't you want to drive the car at least once? Anyway, everybody, you know what to do. That's, subscribe, comment, hit the like button. More stuff will be coming this week. And I hope you like this video. It's a bit different. But that is how you solve the DM crisis of not enough dungeon masters. You take turns. Bye.